We're fucking back, Becca.
About damn time.
Let them know. Tell them. Tell them what happened.
Been living in fucking paradise.
Yeah.
For like 2 months.
Uh-huh.
Getting to know all the brown men, you know.
The better brown men.
Yeah.
The
good
superior
ones.
brown men.
The superior ones. That's facts. Straight bars.
These are the lesser.
Yeah.
The lesser browns.
Not to put it that way, but
That's what you feel.
A little bit.
Tell them how you feel, Becca. The truth is the truth.
Yeah, I've only ever been with Mexicans, so I've got my fair share of them. Got to know them plenty good.
Uh-huh.
So it was nice to mingle with the Tongans, the Samoans, the Fijians, the Tahitians, of course, the Hawaiians.
Yeah.
All of them.
And how do they compare to the Arizona Mexicans?
So it's interesting because I was talking to boys from the school up there, BYU, in Oahu.
So that's a specific type. They're not all gonna be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a couple military guys that would try to talk to me. I didn't really give them the time of day.
Why?
Because military men.
Oh, really?
I don't do that.
Okay. All right.
I just don't even bother.
Yeah.
But
They're
yeah.
broke.
Yeah. Exactly. And living in Hawaii, everyone's fucking broke.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Perfect.
yeah. But I was expecting a lot different, you know, just since they're from the church school, hopefully not trying to just only strictly get in my pants, maybe like try to get to know me,
Get to know
whatever.
you, yeah.
I was surprised to find that
No?
the same.
Really?
In fact, I might say even a little worse
They're more suppressed.
because
But it's like you're
They
not supposed to
have-
act on that, though.
they have the culture shock. That's what it is. Like in Tonga, I talked to one guy from Malaysia, they don't dress how we do, which is short shorts and tank tops. It's like, oh, you're wearing short shorts? That means you want me to have sex with you. It's like, no.
In Malaysia? Where the fuck is Malaysia?
I've never even met a Malaysian in my
Wait,
life
I couldn't
before
even.
him.
What is it? Is it Asia? Is it Asia? Malaysia?
Yeah. It's like, I think Indonesia.
It's like poor.
Near like Bali.
I think Malaysia's known for being really poor or something.
Yeah. They've got like Indians and also Chinese and everything in between.
Oh, Jesus.
Fucking weird.
So
Fucking weird.
So they weren't more holy, they were worse.
Yeah, I'd say so. They have that culture shock, and it seemed like they really physically are having a hard time controlling themselves. And they would even tell me that. They're like, oh, I just can't resist you.
They just want to drag you into the alleyway.
What they do is take you to the fucking beach at night. That's what they do.
Interesting.
And they get you alone, and then all of a sudden they're not shy anymore.
So the whole fucking point of, or like the big thing about being a religious person is being a religious person. So
Yeah.
how do I fucking frame that? What's the fucking point? What are you doing? Okay, so we
Yeah.
have impulses. 100%.
Of course.
We're born with it. There's nothing you can do about it.
Fucking, what do you call that? I forgot anyway. It'll come to me.
It'll come to you. There's nothing that we can fucking do about it. It's just in us.
Yeah.
But
Primal.
it's primal.
Instinct.
Yeah,
Mhm.
perfect.
Yes, that's the word.
You have this thing in place that's supposed to get you to a mental space or a spiritual space to where you can override it.
Mm-hmm.
But these motherfuckers aren't overriding it.
Right.
So is it the animal impulse in us is stronger than a belief in a God?
I was going to say, for most people, don't think that living or practicing any gospel or religion helps those internal instincts at all.
At all.
And in fact, if anything, it just makes them more sheltered so that when they do have access to it, they can't control themselves. Like I was told, I just can't resist you. I can't control myself. And I'm like, bro, why? Literally, why? But I've learned that in Tonga, like everyone dresses modest. Everything is closed on Sunday. everyone goes to church. No one goes to the beach on Sunday. And that's just how it is. So they come here and they see like
girls' asses are out and they've been doing makeup for
exactly
since they were 12, so they can fucking make themselves look like a movie star, and their titties and asses out, and and they're just like
whoa,
they're like short circuiting, like oh what the fuck is this shit?
That's exactly what it is. I had this guy consistently asking to sniff me, and just sniffing me.
Do you use the word sniff?
Yeah.
And
he's like, I just love to smell you.
Oh.
And this is a guy who said he's never been with a Mexican before in his whole fucking life. There's hardly any Mexicans, hardly any Latinas in Hawaii. So to them, I was like exotic. I was like nothing they'd ever seen before. And so that on top of it, just fetishizing the fuck out of me. Everything they could about me being Hispanic, curly hair, like freckles, the hips, like whatever they could find. Just sexualize it.
Oh my God. So there's so much suppressed sexual energy that it's got to feel like you're not even a human at points. Like you're not even
seemed
like
pretty animalistic to me.
Like
I'm like, jeez, fucking animals.
So it's like
out
a feeding
here.
frenzy. It makes sense because I'm a fucking human man, and if I was told, if I grew up in a fucking society or culture where everybody dressed modest, all that was frowned upon, it didn't even need to be fucking said.
Yeah.
It wasn't even said. You just knew.
You just knew.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then I go to this other fucking place at 18, and there's these gorgeous women that you've never even like.
You've only ever seen Tongans or just Samoans, but there's a whole mixture.
Yeah. Not only is the mix happening that's making you feel all fuzzy.
Yeah.
Right. In the wrong places.
Right.
But their titties are out.
Literally.
And their ass is out.
The thong bikinis.
So without that, they'd be short circuiting. But then now
even more so.
What do you do? Like, wait, what the fuck? I would be the guy. Can I smell you?
I was
like,
gonna say,
could
you
I
ask to smell them. That's what you fucking do. You take them to the beach alone at night, and you're like, "Can I fucking smell your underarm?" And you're like, "Whoa, bro, take a step back." What? Come again? I'm not grasping it. Straight up. When I tell you, I've never dressed more like a Mormon in my life.
Oh my God, I can't even, that
shit's
I can't imagine,
gnarly.
Stepping outside and just people wanting to penetrate you. Like, people just, fucking, and they can't even, pretend like they don't want to. Like, how the fuck do you even be in reality? Like, that shit is insane.
Doesn't feel like real life. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, I learned a lot about men. More than I thought I already knew.
Yeah, if I remember, going into this with a sort of an innocent perspective of oh, I could find my husband. They're like, oh, there's this one guy that
wants to fucking sniff me.
All right, so you come back. What's your immediate feeling?
I hate it here. And I've hated it here ever since.
So your immediate feeling, you're going through the fucking Sky Harbor airport, and you get to whoever's picking you up.
Yeah, I saw Kevin. Seeing Kevin, my dog, my little Yorkie, was awesome. Highlight of my summer.
Yeah.
Well, other than
everything
coming
else.
home. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I saw him, and then that night, got in a fight with my mom, had a breakdown, got insanely triggered, and back to real life.
Night one.
Night fucking one. I was jet lagged. It was 11 at night, and I was like, oh fuck, it's really late. It's only 8 o'clock my time. And my mom just, whatever. I realized a lot being away from that home, what was really affecting me at home. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
So now just being back in there, and I'm like, you people are fucking nuts. I'm like, I really miss having someone normal to talk to.
The guy that wants to sniff your armpits.
I was going to say, maybe
Oh,
not
you
so
take
much
that
the
back.
men. I would take that, yeah. Because at least with that, I can just like not see him again and like be more careful. I'm like telling men that I'm a virgin for my own protection.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I would like, I'd be telling my sister, you know, oh yeah, this has happened to me, this has happened, and it's just very normal. And then I go to Hawaii, have the same experiences, and she's like blown away because she's like, I've never had to go through anything like that in my entire life, to where you say no, like he sticks it in anyway, or like you say no and he pressures you or like begs you anyway, you know. She doesn't know what that's like, and that's just a very common thing that I go through. And so going to Hawaii, I thought like one of the guys, my sister had told him like, oh, take her out. She was all, oh, this is a good guy, you know, good church boy. Next minute, he's like begging to be in my pants. And
how long did it take? Like, so you guys go to dinner, like, walk me through it.
So we hung out. Why do I think? So I met him first on my birthday, when I went for my birthday in March, and he came to a dinner. And then this time around, he's like, do you remember me? And I was like, yeah, of course. So I had like seen him once or twice at some of the activities that we went to. We went to Secret Island with the Tongan Club from the school. So it was just a bunch of Tongans. And we went to, I forget what the island is called, but it's just it's a tourist attraction, basically. Mm-hmm. And didn't even really talk with him there. It wasn't until there was a rugby game, and he sat next to me during the rugby game. It was Tonga versus New Zealand, so it was intense. And talked a little bit, and then he came with us to another activity where we had food and there was dancing. And so we like talked a little bit more. And then at the end of the night, we were going to bed, and it was a camp. And we had gone to a camp to eat and dance, and we were going to sleep there. And we were sleeping in the van. My sister has a big Volkswagen van. And so her and her husband go to bed, and he's like, can I take you to the beach? We were camping on the beach. So he said, can I walk you to the beach? And he asks my sister, like, for permission. And he gets me to the beach. And at this point, I'm like innocent. I'm like, oh, we're gonna like go to the beach and talk. Like, this is really nice, you know, nice brown men. Exactly what I came for. Next thing I knew, I figured out they take you to the beach to get you alone. And as soon as they get you alone, they're a completely different person.
Different person, like.
Yeah. So at first he was just like talking to me, and we're just like sitting on the beach, and it was really nice. That was when I had the thought, I was like, I could totally see myself doing this, being here just with a guy, being on the beach. Like, this is fucking sick. And then he goes in to kiss me, start making out.
Which is fine, right?
Yeah,
by you. It's
yeah,
fine by you.
Fine by me.
Okay.
Fine by my sister. I like come back and report to her like a mom, you know, and she's like, yeah, kissing is fine, like whatever. And then he just starts to get touchy and
on the beach,
beg for things. Yeah. On
first
the beach.
Night you guys are hook
First
up,
night.
like you can be making out, and then
he wants to get in my pants. He like wanted to fuck me. He told me that if I let him, he would have.
If you let him.
Yeah.
At least they're doing that.
He was begging though, bro. That's true. That's the bare minimum. But he was still all, please, I'm going to mainland. Because that was the last night I was going to see him. And then he was going to mainland the next week for the summer. So he was leaving right as I got there. And he's like, so you're really not going to let me, like, pipe before I go to California? And I was like, yeah, I'm really not. He couldn't believe that a white girl told him no. It's like they've never heard no their entire lives. The white girls just like throw themselves at the Polynesians. So they're very much used to just getting whatever the fuck they want. So they hear no and they're like, wait, that's not in my vocabulary. What does that mean?
Wow. What the fuck? I need to go to Hawaii.
It's fucking crazy. So, yeah, I learned that all men are just how they're going to be, and that the labels, the church doesn't mean anything. It can for some people. I did find one guy that I literally want to marry, but just out of my grasp right now.
But light shrug. He's out of your grasp. Yeah, he's out of your grasp. All right. Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Like he has somebody.
I think so.
What do you mean you think so?
I didn't know for sure, but I just didn't have enough time.
Brown boy?
Anyway, yeah.
And you just didn't have enough time to what?
Dig my claws into him and claim him. That's what you have to do to the good ones. They go so fast.
Damn.
And then the other ones you're just fucking getting semi-assaulted by, and you're like, bro.
It's pushy.
Yeah. Bad. And
God.
So I came to the conclusion that it's okay to tell men that I'm a virgin if it's for my own protection. Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
Just because the shit I've had to deal with that like nobody else understands.
I'd never have had to do that.
My sister's like, what? What's even going on? She's like, that does not happen to me. She couldn't understand.
Well, I mean,
at all.
She's not. She's okay. Yeah. She's not like.
It's a little different.
It's different. It's different.
It was crazy. I was like, hot stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
I would just go to the beach, just wearing a swim or whatever, and I would get like stared at.
It's weird.
But like, they would be like giddy. They were like smiling and like, and I'd be like, hey, you know, whatever. But it was just very surprising, the attention that I got. There was one time it was me and both my sisters, because Natalie came for a week while I was there. It was both of us and then my brother-in-law, and just some random older guy came up, and he wasn't like being creepy. He had been talking to my brother-in-law for a little bit, just asking about the baby and stuff. And then he like came over to me and he said, oh, I just have to say, not in like a creepy way, whatever, but you're just like really beautiful. You should enter a pageant or a contest or something. My daughter, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, not putting you two down or anything, like signaling to my sisters. And he's like, but you were just like beautiful. And I was like, this is weird. It's weird. I don't even know how else to explain it. I mean, awesome, maybe, but it's just.
But like not though.
Exactly. It's just weird.
Like you're not getting anything from it other than this kind of strange feeling that's like, okay, like, okay, thanks.
Okay, cool.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Because at this point, it's not like, it's not doing anything.
And yeah, I'm like, oh, thanks. I'll add it to the millions of other compliments I've gotten today.
Yeah, it's like vain or whatever, but like, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
At this point. So it's like.
I've got it.
You're right. Yeah, got it. Thanks.
Yeah. At this point, it's just, an old man trying to find a way to talk to me. And it's like, no thanks. You know? Fucking weird.
It's weird.
I thought that I got crazy attention here, but the fact there's no Latinas over there and I already get mistaken for Hawaiian, it just made it that much more intense. I couldn't believe it.
When I went to Austin, I was getting looked up and down by women and shit. And like, it was strange because it doesn't really happen.
Mm-hmm. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's just
like,
weird.
What's going on?
Yeah. Like, girls were just looking at me in these weird ways that they never really do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, yo, Cody, you seeing this? And he's like, yeah, buddy.
You see that too,
what the fuck, bro? I'm like, yeah, dude. Well, like, why? Why? Like, and
why?
Right. Because when I go back to my regular life, like I'm regular.
A normal.
I'm okay. Like, you know, I mean, I'm okay, but
Whatever. There's so many fucking beaners out here.
Right.
So many.
So it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I guess, but there's a bunch of beaners in Austin. You know, the first 2 hours I was in Austin, a gay
lot.
dude was trying to suck my dick. You know, I'm just being honest with you.
I love that for you.
I was trying to figure out, I was taking the train took the bus to a bus that I usually just take buses out of airports because it was so expensive to Uber.
Yeah.
Took the bus to a connecting bus, and this like Mexican dude was like helping me around. And then he's like, "Oh yeah, you just wait for like 30 minutes." My eye, where so it was right here. He's like, "Actually, it might be the one over there." So he takes me over there, and he's trying to get with me.
Yeah.
And we go to the next bus stop, and then he's like, "Yeah, you just this that," and then he's like, "Oh, you want to come by? My apartment's actually just back there. You want to come in and watch a movie?"
No.
I'm like, "Nah, dude, I gotta fucking. I'm going. I've just touched down, dude. I'm from a different state. What the fuck am I gonna?"
What the fuck?
And then eventually, I was like, "No, I'm not doing it." And then he was like, "Oh, I'll suck your dick."
Oh my god.
And then I was like, "Well, thank you for finally getting to the fucking point, right?"
Yeah.
It's like, thank you. I'm flattered that you would just do that to me. I'm just walking down the fucking street on a weekday. But like
that fool is not worried about catching anything.
nothing. But that's before monkeypox, pre-monkeypox.
Oh yeah, I came home and learned about that. And I'm like, whoa, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, weird.
Yes, it's amongst the gays. The gays
But
getting it.
I was gonna say I'm already diseased, so
whatever.
What fucking ever.
I'm diseased.
Yeah.
At this point, it's 98% gay men right now. But who knows if it's trickled? That's what AIDS was.
I was gonna say that's how AIDS started.
Yeah, it was just like gay people, and then it trickled into the population. So I mean,
I love that for us.
Yeah.
That's sick.
I mean, what? It's always something.
Always.
You know, always something.
Yeah.
So you're fucking breaking down day one, and you're coming to a realization that the things that were going on with you that were very negative might have been environmental.
Yeah.
That the space that you're in might push you to be those ways.
I testify that it does.
It has to. It has to. I live there too, Becca. Yeah, I know.
You understand.
I know. I know.
So yeah, that's what I realized. And this whole time, everyone's talking about my dad and the men in the house, and I'm like, I don't think I have daddy issues, bro. I'm like, I think I got the other one.
Mommy issue. We don't talk about that. Society doesn't really talk about mommy issues. It's always fucking daddy issues. Always the dad. It's always the fucking dad.
Yeah. And so I was realizing, I'm like, fuck, I've never had a safe place to be in. Never had a place where I felt validated. Never felt like I had an adult to talk to. When I was talking to my sister, I'm like, whoa, you're like an adult. I was like, you're just looking at me. We're having a conversation. You see that I'm getting defensive and triggered. So you validate me. And then my guard's let down and we can have a normal conversation. If I just had an adult to communicate with, it'd be that easy. But it's not because everyone who is not healed often is a child inside or has multiple children inside. So I'm surrounded by fucking children. And I didn't realize why I was so angry, so anxious, so fucking addicted to drugs. Like, fuck, I was in Hawaii, didn't have nicotine, whatever. And I'm like chilling. I'm still getting occasionally assaulted by guys, but I'm like, I'm chilling. I'm in a safe place where I can talk about it, find answers, and ultimately come to a solution. Whereas before, it was like, oh, you have a problem? It's your fucking fault.
Therapy,
Go
therapy,
get help.
therapy, drugs,
Go
therapy,
get
drugs,
help.
therapy.
Exactly. And then
Therapy,
when that's
drugs,
not
drugs.
enough, drugs.
Yeah.
Just drugs.
Yeah. Right. Right.
So I realized, oh shit. Literally, I didn't need therapy in Hawaii, and I took a break from therapy while in Hawaii because that was my therapy.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
Just being in a toxic-free space.
Yeah. Oh, what a fucking crazy thing that is, that if you just are in a good place,
What a concept.
that you don't need to eat drugs or be addicted to shit.
What a
Wow.
fucking concept.
Oh, whoa.
What?
Whoa. Crazy. Yeah. So,
That's what I'm saying.
I can't even believe that.
So, yeah. Crazy awakening. I'm like, oh, shit. Well, here we are. And then I'm back. I got depressed within the first couple days. And I was like tripping out. Just fuck. I'm going back to how I was before. I'm losing my Hawaii self. That's one, not the way to look at it. But also I was thinking, man, I haven't even been here a fucking week. And
your
it already
body's already
feels
like, oh, that pen kind of sounds pretty good. Wow, shit. Remember what that nicotine felt like? Damn,
the
that
smoke
was,
shop's just right down the street.
Smoke shop starts right down the street.
They're not
Remember
gonna
that
card
fucking
you.
nicotine? Yeah. That shit feels good, right?
It's exactly how it is.
That's bad.
Yep.
That's bad.
Yep. I was thinking of my life before I came to Hawaii. I was like, fuck. My life was so bad. I had like, there's really no way to say how bad it was without just blatantly saying like sores in places where you don't want sores, while having like an anal fissure, my asshole's bleeding, just like gnarly stuff, on top of like my ex is still fucking me up, and we had just cut things off again for the third fucking time. And so I'm dealing with that anxiety. Things are really bad at home, bad with toxic friends as well. And I remember just before I left for Hawaii, I was like, I need to get the fuck out of here. That was the only thing I could think of before leaving Hawaii, was just like, I need to get the fuck out of here. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Something has to change. Something has to be different. Like, I can't do it. Little did I know, God was paving the way for me the whole time. I was supposed to be in Hawaii. I was supposed to go there. And my therapist sat in front of me last week and was like, I genuinely feel like there's a different person sitting in front of me. And I was like, well, that's good, because who I was before fucking sucked. So good for me, I guess.
You become this different fucking person because what?
Entirely.
Because you just go somewhere else for a fucking 2 months, a month. Like, what is that? You know what I mean? Like, really, if you step back, like, what is that?
The biggest thing I would say is the toxic environment.
Yeah.
Of course.
Sure.
Yeah. And small other factors would be the heat. The heat makes me pretty fucking depressed. I'm like, shit. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to do anything. I can't come home from work and be like, oh, let me go to the beach today. That can cure most people's depression, if I'm being honest. Just the fucking beach. But the reason I became a completely different person was because I didn't have these trauma adaptations that I had been accustomed to my whole life, because I was in a house that isn't safe, that I always had to be on the defense. So yeah, I was a bitch. I had all these trauma adaptations where I was defensive, insecure, anxietal. And when I was away from it and I felt secure in the relationships that I had, it was like, oh, I don't need to be a bitch. I don't need to be defensive. There's no reason. There's no reason to be insecure or anxious or defensive, you know, because I was in a good place where I didn't have all those things, like, you know, and people were nice. People were way nicer. The driving is huge. There's just the one or the two-way, like throughout most of the island until you get to like Honolulu. But in all of the country, it's just one lane this way, one lane that way. So you have to learn patience on the island. You have to. Everything's closed on Sunday where we're at, more in the country. Nothing's open on Sunday. The roads, there's so many tourists. They suck on the roads. They make everything packed. You just have to learn patience. That's one thing I did not have. So I had to learn patience. I let go of all my trauma adaptations that I had developed over years, which were picked right back up when I came home because I got triggered the first night.
You left off.
Yeah. So I'm like, fuck, well, here we go. I'm being defensive again and all like this, all anxietal.
Yeah, you breaking down and on your fucking floor.
Yeah.
First night in, it's like, I've been in dark places. Just where I lived before I moved to Arizona, I was living with 2 alcoholics. This girl, she was dying. She was drinking herself to death, which isn't the first time that someone around me has been drinking themselves to death. I'm not even talking about your father. I mean, it's just happened a lot.
It doesn't surprise me.
He's in just another one.
Just one of them.
Yeah. So she was drinking herself to death, and her retarded brother was also an alcoholic, but he was really jolly and nice. He was a nice guy.
Well, that's good at least.
But I was working this shit job, and I'm living in this fucked up place, and shit's just not really good, and I'm high all the time, right? I'm always high. I wake up, I get high, and I'm just high throughout the fucking day, just in a semi-daze. I couldn't tell you what yesterday was, and I'm just in this fucked up environment, and I'm just constantly numb and high, and I go and like see family in my stepfather's cabin in the mountains, and it's all gone. All of the stuff that I'm always telling myself, like, you need to stop doing that. Don't do that anymore. Like all the things that I know that I shouldn't do that I do anyways didn't matter anymore.
I feel that heavy.
And then I go back and they matter again.
Right back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like I was simply just the baby. I was also with my niece all the time. All the time. When it was too much, you know, there would be times it was too much. It's a baby. I'm not the mom.
It's a fucking baby.
It's a baby.
Yeah, it is a baby.
So, you know, I would have to communicate my feelings, but that's what I learned to do. Before I was like, oh no, I can't have any wants. I can't have any needs. I just shut up and do what I'm told. But all of a sudden I was in a safe place where I could communicate my wants and my needs. And I was like, hey, I can't handle the baby all the time, you know? And I was able to communicate that. So I was with a baby, you know, having a good ass time in a safe place right next to the beach, way nicer weather where you could actually go outside and do things. Here, I get depressed just with the weather because I have to stay inside all the time and I can't do anything.
Yeah, I mean,
but sit on my phone.
What do you do?
That's what I'm saying.
There's nothing. Like there's nothing. Like going outside that makes like 115 degrees. Like there's nothing.
Nothing.
That makes that
nothing.
okay.
Not even the pool. My pool is hot.
Right.
It's a bathtub.
It's a bathtub. Right,
and then you got the chlorine.
Bathtub. Yeah, it's like warm. It's like a lukewarm pool. And it's just, I don't know. There's just nothing.
Nope. Nothing at all. So I was literally just happy. I had the thought that I might be depressed in Hawaii. I was scared that I was just going to be the same in Hawaii. Because, you know, even though you're in a completely different place, you can still have all those things inside of you. You still have all the same trauma, you know. But the beach, the water is healing in itself. Just the island is healing in itself. And just being away from all the toxic things that I had to deal with here, which even was like culture, white culture. Feels very toxic to me. The way that I'm looked at by men, the way that things happen in white culture, and how I'm supposed to be okay with like my significant other looking at soft porn on Instagram. Like, what even the fuck is that? Do you know who Summer Rae is?
Yes.
Okay, I don't have a single male follower, I think, that doesn't follow her. The Tongans don't even know who she is. I'm like, I don't have to settle for these, you know, these brown guys have a hard time controlling themselves, whatever. But there's plenty amongst them that don't have a hard time. Whereas on this side, it's just expected that you're allowed to look at soft porn and watch porn in general, where that's just not the case anywhere else.
Yeah.
That was really toxic for me.
That's a thing.
Yeah, that was huge. And all my friends are guys. So it was just being surrounded by it. Not cool.
Yeah, well, the trade-off, I guess, is with us we don't want to smell your armpits because we're fucking at
Used
1
to
o'clock
it.
in the morning, we're drinking Mountain Dew and masturbating to double anal. So it just doesn't.
It's true.
So we let it out. You know what I mean?
It's
We got
true.
So when it comes time, like when we don't need to smell your armpit,
Yeah.
right? We don't. So like,
You win some, you lose some. You don't get to pick your battles.
Yeah, it's a give and take.
And then
Thanks.
another
Everything's a give
thing,
and take.
those guys don't know what depression is. They don't know what anxiety is.
I was gonna come to that. I was gonna be like,
they don't know what OCD is.
yeah.
And so I'm like, I have PTSD, and they're like, what's that?
You have to explain all this shit to them.
Yeah, and they've been abused as children. They've all just been beaten,
Oh yeah.
hit with the stick, and it's just
Yeah,
normal to
hit
them.
with the fucking stick.
That's
yeah.
not trauma to them.
Yeah.
So it's very hard for them to understand. But yeah, the huge
That's a
cultural barriers.
Long explanation for all that, isn't it? You have to
Yeah.
really sit them down for like fucking 3 hours and like pull out charts and fucking
Literally.
whiteboards.
Yeah.
You can't just.
Oh yeah, I have OCD. They're like, huh?
I heard that there's like almost most tribes that haven't been became civilized or however the fuck you want to word it.
Yeah.
They don't have words for depression.
Yeah.
Or anxiety. They sort of like offshoot words, but they don't have like a word for like an illness.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not an illness. It's just something it's a cloud in the sky.
Yeah.
It passes. It comes. It might rain a little bit. It passes.
Yeah.
It's blue again. But we have this fucking thing that's like the cloud comes and it's your fault. You were born like this.
Something's wrong with you.
Something's wrong with you. You need drugs. And that's a hard thing to explain to somebody.
I know, and they see it as just like we're all depressed. Oh, anxiety, that's a white thing. That's a white people thing. That's literally how they see it. In Tonga, there is one psychiatrist, psychologist, and labels everyone as schizophrenic. Just put you on drugs.
On schizophrenic drugs.
Yeah.
That's not good.
That's the only thing. Yeah. So, yeah, you win some, you lose some. They don't have much knowledge about that, but getting
not
beat.
corrupted.
Yeah. Getting beat to them isn't trauma. So I guess that's cool.
I mean, it is, right?
Yeah. In any form,
Yeah.
it's trauma.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
It
right?
affects them differently.
So how much of how we react to things are because we're told to react to them that way?
That is one thing. Because they're like, oh, getting beat isn't trauma to us because I've seen my other friends get beat. Oh, you should have seen my one friend this one time. I'm lucky I didn't get it like that. You know, he got it real good, whatever.
It's all perspective.
Yeah. And so us, it's like, oh my gosh, let's say we're getting beat. I'm getting beat. There's something wrong with me. Nobody understands me. No one knows what I'm going through. Everyone else is happy. Everyone else's families are normal. I'm not. What's wrong with me? So that's the big difference, at least with that case. So in general, traumas do affect them differently just because they have different perspective on things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where I have like dissociation really bad. That's one thing I realize is that I'm pretty much dissociated all the fucking time. And in Hawaii, I didn't have to be because I didn't have to turn my emotions off just to survive in my own home. So naturally, I was awake and alive and present, and I could feel things and feel happy.
Oh, this is uncomfortable. Now I have to reflect on my life. It's fucked up.
I mean, shit.
I'm realizing things that I already knew, but it's like, fuck.
It's
What
real.
It's real.
It's real.
You kind of get reminded, like,
Yeah.
hey, dude, like
Yeah.
this is kind of essentially how this life thing works. And it's like, oh shit. Well,
Let's manage
what
it.
do I do? What do I do with that information? You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
shit can. I live a fucking unnatural life. I'm glued to my fucking phone, and my livelihood comes from it.
Dude, the awakening I had, I guess I didn't really get into that. So I like came home. I have an elephant collection. I collect crystals. I have so many fucking clothes, so many fucking shoes. I came home and I'm like overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that I have. I'm like, why the fuck do I have so much stuff? I collect toys, rocks, elephants. Like, why do you need all this shit?
Just a
What's
bunch
wrong
of
with
shit.
you?
Yeah, what?
And I was like, sis was trying to fill a void. Before I left, I was trying to fucking fill a void.
Just buying just useless shit and just filling up this space with just dumb, useless shit was like your way of maybe like during the purchase or the first moment with it, you get that chemical hit that takes you away for a second.
I think it was on here that you had asked me, like, what brings me the most happiness? And I said buying elephants.
Yeah. And I laughed at you and I apologize that I just started laughing at you. And I'm sorry. And then when I was editing it, I saw myself just start laughing at you when you said that. I'm like, oh my God, Ulysses, that's fucked up, dude. Why'd you do that?
No, it's true. It's funny because it's like nothing else makes you happy, which is sad.
Yes.
But it's like so sad that it's funny.
Yeah.
So, no, yeah, I laughed at myself. I was like, sis, the fuck is wrong with you? So here I am like selling half my shit, half my clothes, because I don't need it. I don't need 10 pairs of shoes.
Yeah.
I need 2 pairs of shoes.
Oh, yeah.
And so stuff like that, I won't even cap. No, I probably shouldn't talk about it.
You're about to.
I know. All right. So, like, I got addicted to orgasming at a young age. We'll just put it that way. So I had my fair share of struggles with that, you know?
Right.
And then the drugs thing, same shit. So all of these things, I was just trying to fill a void, trying to, like, cope with living.
Oh, fuck.
I was just getting by. Literally going through a full gram cart in like 4 days.
It's all the same shit.
Days.
Like the fucking hitting the nicotine or orgasming.
And even the
or
phone.
Fucking,
the phone too.
Yeah. The fucking likes and the shit from the social media. Orgasming. Fucking that nicotine rush. It's all the same shit. You're trying to get away.
Yeah.
You're trying to like just not be this for a fucking second.
Literally just surviving.
So fucked up. Oh my God, it's so fucked up.
Yeah. I realized the phone was huge for me. I look at people now and I'll be hanging out with friends. I'm like, what's so interesting? Why are you all on your fucking phone? Like, are you not alive? I genuinely see people on their phone and to me, they're just not there, which is true because you dissociate. That's everyone's way of dissociating. The phone, TV, it's your time to just sit there, dissociate and think about fucking nothing. So I see people and I'm like, oh, you're not awake. You're on your phone. You're not awake. And they're just glued to it. And I'm like, I'm on a different planet than you. You're not even here. That's been a crazy observation.
Oh, man, this shit's fucking me up.
Yeah, I don't even go on TikTok anymore, bro. I used to, when I was here, I would get so mad at myself because I'd come home, smoke, and just sit in bed for hours on TikTok. And I'm like, fuck. I get so mad. I'm like, I didn't get anything done. I'm like, why am I so addicted to fucking TikTok? And then I leave and all better. I still don't want to go on TikTok. Do it that much you will.
So I still do things that I know that I shouldn't do.
Me too.
And I know it would go away if I had a more fulfilled life. And if I had a life that was closer to a life that I'm supposed to have.
Yeah.
So what the fuck do I do? Right?
Right.
What do I do? I know that's true.
Yeah.
What do I do?
I mean, I would say the first step is to figure out why you can't, you know, stop doing whatever. For me, it was like nicotine. I knew I should get off. My body was screaming at me, sis, stop intoxicating me with this shit. It's fucking gross. My body was screaming at me to quit, and I wanted to. I wanted to so bad. I felt like I couldn't. that obviously is an addiction. But when I figure out more of why I am the way that I am and why I even want it in the first place, I can fix that. Make myself not even need it or want it, because I'm going back and fixing in myself, you know, what it is that makes me want it so bad. Why do you need to buy elephants so bad? Why the fuck do you need to buy all this shit so bad? And I'm like, oh, I'm feeling a void. So I'm like, okay, let's look at that. And basically healing why I needed all those things in the first place. I'm like going to therapy and whatever, and I can fix that shit on my own. I just didn't know the root of it, I guess.
Yeah, you're spending all this fucking money, all this time sitting in front of somebody and shit, and then you just go to some other place and you're okay. All this fucking time and money spent, all this fucking chemical altering shit that you did to yourself.
So much. I was in a bad place. Before I left.
Yeah.
And all of it just getting away. I think what it was is getting away, and you can look back and really observe, oh, that's what made me do that. That's why I did that. Because being away from it, I don't have a reason to do those things anymore.
You're like you zoomed out, sort of like you could, it all like becomes small, and you can just kind of sit down and just stare at it.
Yes, exactly. And you figure out your own issues, and it's more of a map rather than all of these things floating in your head, going in at once. Oh, I need to do this. Oh, but how do I do it? So many things I should fix about my life. It's, literally just drawing yourself away. And you can now just see it like a map instead of being stuck in it. That's how it was for me, because my household was really toxic, but also the culture thing. It was really nice to get away and observe. Oh, I'm not crazy. That's not normal. That was really validating.
The social conditioning.
Yeah.
Being able to see the social conditioning.
Yeah.
Or have a different perspective on it that you can't really have.
When you're in it.
When you're in it, you're a product of it.
Exactly.
Everybody around you is a product of it. Everything.
I was very much wrapped up into it, like social media. Crazy. For me, I don't use Twitter, TikTok, hardly anything. All I do is look at girls on Instagram and obsess over it. And so that's really unhealthy.
Yeah, it is. It's super unhealthy.
Yeah. But I can take a step back and I'm like, this is just a white people thing. I'm like, to some people, this doesn't even matter. But to me, it's my whole world.
It's everything.
Because I think it's everyone else's world when it's not.
No.
It's just stepping back.
Yeah, just take a few steps back. And then you're back here and stuff. So now you have to make actual changes in your life to be able to get to the place that you were just in at default in Hawaii.
Can you believe that?
And now you have to do all this fucking crazy shit.
Work.
To get halfway to where you were at default. What? Oh, God.
Don't you hate that? No, there's a reason. When you walk around high school, you just feel negativity. You just feel empty, depressed vibe. There's a reason. There's a reason no one's outside. There's a reason no one says hi to each other. There's a reason no one knows their neighbors or just waves hello to people across the street. So different. Even there, people are just nicer because everyone's poor, so it's validating. You're not in these cultures and these neighborhoods
it's
where
comparison.
Everyone's rich.
Yeah, one person pulls up and they have all the things and the stuff and the new.
Or someone's really blonde with blue eyes and that's the beauty standard, whatever. There it's like, oh, she can dance really well. Oh, she has really long hair. Things like that they don't care about here. It was really refreshing. It feels more like real life. This feels like a simulation.
Oh, no. Don't put my head there.
I went there.
Don't put me there. Don't put me there.
I know. I fucking went there.
It is a simulation.
Yeah.
It is like we are a product of these algorithms, and in that way it's projecting our reality. These algorithms based on the things that we've seen are showing us. It's an artificial intelligence showing us what it thinks that we need to see, and then we are changing based on that. And it's like we are sort of, and then it's a simulation, and then they're just outside.
Yeah.
They're just sitting outside.
Yep.
And they're looking at the water.
Yeah.
We are sitting
inside
looking at a fucking rectangle. There's a difference.
Yeah.
A serious difference.
Yeah. That shit feels, the more I'm here, the more I just feel out of the loop. Like waking up. I don't really know how to explain it. Just not fitting in to whatever this is.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck.
Yeah, you were like altered a little bit too much, and then now you're trying to like rebend into the fucking piece that you need to be to kind of just exist in
and
this
I'm not
bullshit. You're not. You're like trying to squeeze, and you're doing everything that you can, but it's not working.
Here.
It's not working. Oh man, it's so dark. So true though.
Yeah.
So fucking poetically true.
I know.
And dark as fuck. Ugh. Why?
Just the way people here care a lot about shoes. And if your toes are out, they call them dogs, right? They're like, oh, your dogs are out. You've heard of that, right?
Not really.
Really? It's so huge for me. And so you're in Hawaii.
Dogs are
People just walk around with no shoes. People aren't like, oh, your dogs are out. They're not done. No one wears shoes. No one gives a fuck. That's just one of the millions of things that I hate about here.
all of the social conditioning is like, it's so gnarly. Like, it's so massive in scale, the social conditioning that we've gone through, that you just get that 2 months to step away from it and look at it. And it's like, it's jarring.
Yeah. My whole life, I thought I would work most of my days. Like, work most of the day. Just most of my life would be work. I went to Hawaii and I thought, whoa, it doesn't have to be like that. Never would have even crossed my mind. And I was thinking, oh, they trained me this way in school so that I would think I have to work most of my life, work most of my days, whereas most days should be free and you work sometimes making passive income. Now you have to because everything's so fucked.
Yeah.
But that's how it should be, is you work sometimes and you're living most of the time. How they want us is working all the fucking time.
Living sometimes.
Living
like
sometimes.
having
Which isn't even living, it's a break. At that point, it's just a rest from work. And I never even fathomed that I didn't have to work every day. That wasn't even an option in my brain. Now it is.
Now it is.
Like, whoa, I was conditioned to believe this. I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That concludes this episode.
We're in a simulation.
We're in a simulation. Everything's fucked up. Go into a mountain or the ocean.
Seriously.
It's all bullshit. You've been brainwashed.
Yeah.
In the worst ways.
And you don't even know it.
All right, thanks.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you.